When we hear the word symphony, we think of an orchestra playing a variety of instruments that create beautiful music. Symphony can also be applied in other contexts, such as literature, the arts, organizations, and collaborative projects. It also refers to things harmoniously arranged to create something cohesive and complete. REX Education's Symphony of Learning Solutions is a suite of learning tools designed by experts to nurture learners in every stage of their lifelong journey. It involves a seamless and meaningful integration of diverse learning resources and experiences that aid in creating an environment where every learner is healthy, safe, engaged, supported, challenged, and values-oriented. Every learning tool is an instrument that aims to address the issues and challenges that involve our learners and their learning achievements. REX created a seamless and meaningful symphony of learning solutions for basic education that are curriculum-aligned and technologically enabled, promote evidence-based teaching and learning, and address key challenges and concerns of learners today. REX Education offers different kinds of assessments, catering to different needs of institutions and learner to help strengthen evidence-based teaching and learning in schools. REX ACES, or Assessment of Competencies and Excellence of Students, is a standardized test created and implemented by the REX Institute for Student Excellence, or RISE, the assessment arm of REX. It is curriculum-aligned, internationally benchmarked, and is designed to check on the strengths, weaknesses, and achievements of the students and may provide data that could help institutions enhance or improve the implementation of curriculum and instruction. REX Education's work texts have been carefully designed and developed to increase opportunities for learner success and skills improvement and readiness for higher education and future employment. These resources are also meant to help learners thrive in the 21st century. Through years of collaboration with curriculum experts, competent authors, and a whole team of educampions, REX's learning materials are DepEd Matatag ready. REX work texts for pre-elementary, grade school, and junior and senior high school also integrate social-emotional learning themes relatable and adjusted to the learning capacities of each grade level. Various work texts come with an instructional kit or teacher's manual to assist our teachers in enhancing the learning experiences of students. If there is something that the pandemic taught us, it is that learning continuity is vulnerable to threats that are beyond our control. Apart from access, collaboration and alignment amongst institution members are critical in ensuring quality education is still delivered. For this, REX offers Schoology, a cloud-based learning management system that provides a centralized platform for personalized teaching and learning. It allows teachers to connect to students and families to come up with learning pathways customized to every learner's needs. Mastery of STEAM proficiencies is also critical as we prepare our learners for future. REX Education, through its partner First EduSpec Incorporated, offers an enhanced STEAM curriculum using coding and robotics as tools for experiential learning. REX Education has a series of workbooks called My Career Journey. It can be used during career guidance sessions and is composed of personal, social, academic, and career learning and development modules to help Filipino youth achieve success in their chosen careers as a reasonable working citizen able to contribute to society. To help address skills mismatch, early interventions such as Harrison assessment tests may be administered for students to gain a better understanding of their strengths and weaknesses and the possible professional career that they can explore where they'll thrive best. Rex Education has also partnered with JA Philippines to offer Business Skills Pass, which aims to provide students with the opportunity to develop practical entrepreneurial experience before they leave secondary schooling. REAP, or Resource for Educators, Academicians and Professionals, a training and professional development company of Rex, continuously provides relevant, up-to-date, and innovative professional development solutions designed and delivered by expert trainers. From building the basic skill sets to training for proficiency to reaching mastery, Rex Education has thoughtfully designed them all with the best interests of the learner in mind and heart, and continues to push boundaries to augment learning instruments worthy of the symphony. All this we do para sa bata, para sa mamamayan, para sa bayan.
Good afternoon and welcome, our dear Campions. Before we formally start our webinar, let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord for the prayer followed by the Philippine National Anthem.
In respectful presence of our brothers and sisters across boundaries and faiths, let us all join in prayer and worship and gratitude and for guidance. Almighty and eternal God, we thank you for the gift of life and all its joys. We thank you for today, for all its challenges, in all its splendor. We thank you for the gift of one another. O God of infinite mercy and wisdom, only in unity with your will can all our toils have true meaning. Transform us into willing and able stewards of this world and its future. Bring us together to work with understanding and compassion. As we toil and grow weary, we pray for renewed strength and resolve. As we experience pain and sorrow, let us be reminded of untold good beyond. As we see pain and suffering, let us be instruments of your peace and extensions of your loving and healing hands. As we gather here today, bless us all that our collective knowledge be tempered and guided by your wisdom. Grant us clarity of vision to see the common good amidst all distractions. Endow us with humility and purity of heart to transcend all differences and reservations. When we leave this gathering, let us be the change we seek. As we endeavor to practice what we learn, let us be the good we want to see in others. As we work for our learners and their future, let it be that your will be done. In solemn silence, let us conclude with our own personal prayer.
Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng luwalhating pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mang-aapi ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
To welcome us to our episode 2 of our webinar series, we have Ms. John Marie F. Tordesillas, Chief Marketing Officer of Fresh Education. Let us give her a virtual round of applause.
To our esteemed speaker and designer of this webinar series, Mr. Francis Jim Tuscano, to all educators, parents, and everyone joining us today, a very pleasant afternoon and welcome to the second episode titled AI in the Education Landscape, Updates, Trends, and Transforming Learning and Leadership in the Philippines, of this 7-part webinar series on the responsible and enlightened use of artificial intelligence in education. Artificial intelligence is all around us and changing how we do things, how we do commerce, how we communicate, how we do business. AI is built into our office machines, home appliances, and handheld gadgets, and is easily accessible to anyone. There are just so many ways how AI can be used, misused, and abused. It can be said that one of the most debated use of AI is for education. During the past few years until today, a lot of people warn against the dire consequences of having AI widely available for students' use. Still, it cannot be denied that AI, when used properly, can unlock a lot of benefits for both learners and educators alike. In today's episode, Jim will give us a picture of how AI is being regarded and used for education. Just recently, Rex Education supported an initiative by the Manila Ecclesiastical Province School Systems Association, or MAPSA, under the leadership of Father Albert N. Delvo, to develop guidelines for the enlightened and responsible use of AI in education. Our moderator for today, Mr. Francis Jim Tuscano, was the lead consultant and facilitator of that initiative. Next year, as part of Rex Education's menu of care programs for partner schools, we intend to support similar initiatives by partner diocesan, congregation, or other school groups. That MAPSA initiative serves as the inspiration for this webinar series. There are just so many learnings and insights from the MAPSA experience that could be of benefit to schools nationwide. Artificial intelligence is all around us. Denying its existence and its effects on the teaching and learning process equates to not preparing for it. We are at that point when, with AI and the proliferation of other technologies, we have to accept that we have to evolve how we teach today's generation of learners. In closing, I would like to share my 2 takeaways I picked up from the episode last Tuesday: discernment and danas, or in English, experience, both the verb and the noun. Discernment should guide how and when AI is used for education. This is key for AI's enlightened and responsible use. For danas, AI use should not diminish the learning experience. It should never be used as a mere shortcut. Rather, AI should be used to enhance the learning experience. With that, welcome and thank you all for coming, and may we all be proponents for the enlightened and responsible use of artificial intelligence for education. Para sa bata, para sa mamamayan, para sa bayan.
Good afternoon to everyone joining us live here at Rex Education Facebook page. So we hope that you are all doing well whenever or wherever you are. In terms of enjoying and being safe wherever you are, kindly comment down on the comment section of our Facebook Live where are you watching right now. So thank you for being with us for episode 2 of our webinar series titled Responsible Enlightened Use of Artificial Intelligence in School, inspired by the MAPSA AI Integration Framework and Policy Guidelines. So speaking of this inspiration by Sir Jim, we will show the actual book, the cover page of the book that is formulated by Sir Jim. So on the screen, we can see the title of the book, Forming Minds and Hearts in the Artificial Intelligence Era. So this is the product of the collective wisdom, pastoral care, and professional insight of Catholic educators across the MAPSA network. And on the screen also, you can see a QR code where you can scan so you can get a virtual copy of this book. And if you want to know more about the AI use policy, there are different emails indicated there that you can message so that you can know more about AI use policy. So for those joining us today, I am Bea Bernadette Ramos from Rex Education, and welcome to our episode 2. So, going back in episode 1, we reflected on the human core of education and the values that must anchor AI use in our schools. So, today, we shift from our formation to landscape. Episode 2 brings us outward to the global and Philippine developments shaping how AI is transforming teaching, learning, and school leadership. So, specifically, this episode, has three main goals. So, first one, analyze the most current global and local trends in AI that are influencing education systems, classrooms, and learning environments. Second, to examine the opportunities and challenges emerging from AI adoption, including issues of access, ethics, readiness, and then even realities across schools and regions. And finally, to recognize how AI strategies can align with national and institutional education goals, ensuring that AI integration contributes to innovation, equity, and learner access. So this episode asks us to understand the landscape clearly, honestly, and practically. AI is evolving faster than most schools can respond. And this session helps us map where we are now, what gaps exist, and where leadership and policy might guide us next. So with that, let us keep the ball rolling and let us formally begin episode 2 with an introduction of our dear speaker. So our speaker for today is Mr. Francis Jim Toscano. He is an award-winning educator, school leader, ethic visionary, and author. A Global Teacher Prize finalist, Apple Distinguished Educator, and ISTE 22 Watch honoree. He authored Empower to Thrive, published by Rex Education, a practical guide to building sustainable blended learning and ethical use in schools. So Mr. Jim, as EdTech coordinator at Xavier School, he leads transformative digital integration in teaching and learning. He served as a consultant and advisory board member for schools and EdTech initiatives and spearheads national efforts on responsible AI through MAPSA, CAP, DepEd, and global networks. He has partnered with institutions such as UNESCO, CIMEO, the ASEAN, and the Department of Education to deliver professional development programs on EdTech, AI literacy, and instructional innovation. He is also the co-founder of Tagpros Education and creator of Gab AI, an AI tech assistant built by Philippine educators. A proud Filipino educator and sought-after speaker, Sir Jim continues to inspire teachers worldwide to embrace AI thoughtfully, enhancing teaching while safeguarding the human heart of education. So, without further ado, let us all Mr. Francis Jim Toscano, our speaker for today, with a virtual round of applause. Good afternoon, Sir Jim.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you again for welcoming me for the second episode. So, yeah, we're very much happy that we're continuing our webinar series for this November until December. This is episode 2. And if you were with us last Tuesday, we had an amazing start of this webinar series on AI in education with an amazing panel discussion that we had with Father Nolan, Ivy Anahe, and Gino Lawayon. So please do let us know where you're coming from today, where you're watching us and participating as well. Please do share with your colleagues, with your with the teachers in your communities or school communities. Share the live stream link, and then we'll learn together. So for this session, so that we can start early, for this session, we have three things to understand or to do. Number one, we would want to aim to analyze current and global Philippine updates and trends on AI in education. We would like to examine key opportunities and challenges of AI adoption, and then recognize how AI strategies can align with national and institutional education goals. So this will be these are not linear at some point, but these are the things that we would like to touch for this afternoon. Okay, let's do an AI pulse check. I want to begin by taking the pulse, at least in this live webinar. AI has become the most talked about force in education, but what we believe about it varies widely. Yun, iba-iba tayo ng understanding, iba-iba tayo ng paraan ng the way we understand is very different. The way we use AI is very different as well. So let's see where we actually stand. So I'm seeing a lot of people coming in from different parts of Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So shout out to our friends from Lucena City, Iloilo, Tarlac, RTU Pasig, Isabela, Leyte, Cebu. Ayan, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. I'm doing a pulse check right now, so I wanted to check if you're with me. But let's do um, a pulse check. In a phrase, what is the most significant way AI is changing education today? So maybe in a phrase or a word, try to share your thoughts. There's no right or wrong answer to this question. In a phrase, what is the most significant way AI is changing education today? So I know that there's a delay in our live stream. Usually that's the case, 10 to 15 seconds. So let us just wait for some thoughts coming in from our audience. So I'm monitoring as well the Facebook right now, the Facebook Live. So let's see where our friends are standing in terms of what's their stand in terms of AI. So, yan, from Bataan, from Pampanga, and from Iloilo. Ano kaya mga thoughts nila? Good afternoon to everyone. Okay, so what is the most significant way AI is changing education today? So si teacher Maricel Baroro says, integrity in assessment results. Oh, I think that's one significant way that AI is changing the way we do education right now. It's the assessment. Thank you, Teacher Marcel. Teacher Eric says AI's most significant impact on education today is personalized learning. It adapts lessons, feedback, and pacing to each student's needs, helping them learn faster and more effectively. Thank you so much, Teacher Eric. So personalization, creation of adaptive learning materials. Teacher Noel says it provides a more structured presentation of information, adapting based on the student's needs. Very similar as well with Teacher Eric. Ayan, Teacher Shalom says AI is a tool for preparing learning resources. Very interesting as well. Yes, I think AI has affected the way we do um, preparations, adaptive learning approaches, assessment. But I think most importantly, this is something that we've liked that AI is doing. Preparing learning resources, di ba? Time consuming kasi yun eh. From La Consolacion, Tanawan, AI is reshaping education in many ways, but the most significant impact today is the shift towards personalized learning. Another reference to personalized learning and adaptive learning. Ayan. So thank you for those who have shared their thoughts. Teachers from Cavite, Cagayan, and Bicol region, Zamboanga City. Welcome po to our session. So for those who are just coming in right now, I did a pulse check, and then I'm going to have another pulse check again. So what's really happening? Ano ba yung what's happening and what's the hype in terms of AI? So I will reveal statements, three statements, and then choose which one is maybe happening or maybe realistic to you right now, or what's happening in your context. So which one is true today, maybe in your context? Ano kaya yung nafe-feel yung mangyayari or nangyayari sa AI sa iyong konteksto? Letter A, AI will eventually replace most teaching tasks. Letter B, AI can help close learning gaps if used well. And letter C, most Philippine schools are ready for AI adoption. So which of these statements? So there's no right or wrong answer. Which I just want to know what your thoughts are, where you're coming from. Which of this which of these statements resonates with you, or maybe the fruit of your initial experiences or reflection. Letter B, sabi ni Teacher Eric, letter B, AI can help close learning gaps if used well. Sabi nga ni Teacher Eric a while ago, AI nga can be used for personalized learning. So precisely, AI can help close learning gaps for Teacher Eric. Teacher Jennifer Raphael B, Teacher Maribeth B, Teacher Felmore C, most Philippine schools are ready for AI adoption. So karamihan na sabi, no? That's what, siguro yun yung hope natin, no? That's what we're wishing for. AI, or what's happening in our classroom, AI can help us um, um, close learning gaps. So very optimistic. That's very optimistic with how we're looking at AI. May one or two see, there's confidence. Totoo ba na may confidence na tayo that we're ready to adapt AI to our schools? Are we that ready? There's this confidence as well. In B, there's optimism. Walang lang letter A, no? Walang anxious. Usually that's an anxiety. It was framed to provide maybe an opening towards an anxiety thought, but letter A
Mhm.
is not mentioned. So yeah, that's great. Okay, letter B, letter C. Okay, letter A shows much anxiety. Letter B is optimism with AI, and letter C with AI adoption, meaning there's confidence. So very interesting that we have this kinds of 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 idea. Okay, I'm calling this a snapshot. So this is the snapshots of where we are right now. Uh, some needs unpacking, and some are very accurate, especially with the personal thoughts. But let's try to unpack further. Okay, let's try to have a survey. Currently, what are the global and local trends in AI adoption in education? So the global trend, so ChatGPT came out around December 20, was it 2022 or 2023? I think those are the times that ChatGPT was made public, so for people to access. And let's see, no, what are the current global, where are we heading now after 2 to 3 years of experimenting with the initial and the current form of AI. Where are we right now? So apparently this is what's happening right now. We're now moving from experimentation to structured implementation. What does it mean? Parang tapos na tayo sa phase na we're so excited to use ChatGPT. We're so excited to use Gemini. Noon nga Bard pa yung pangalan. We're so excited to use different kinds of AI tools. Right now, because there's a proliferation of education-focused AI, like for example, Schoology has Power Body. We have Magic School AI in the Philippines. We've designed Gabay for Filipino teachers. So there's from a very general development of AI, you now have contextualized education focused AI. So we're done with experimentation. So we're moving to structured implementation because there's a need, okay? Because across the world, ministries of education are moving from experimentation to structured implementation. We now have these kinds of documents and even plans. The European Union, the EU, has issued guidelines and even a literacy framework on trustworthy AI for school. So the European Commission and OECD, partnering with Code.org, has created an AI literacy framework for primary and secondary education for students in Europe. So they've done that already. Singapore, Korea, China are embedding AI literacy into national curricula. That means in private schools as well, most especially in most especially in public schools, I should say. So the United States has been pushing district level governance and AI safety protocols. The Office of Education Technology of the United States Department of Education has also released documents and guidelines about AI and the future of teaching and learning. Countries like UAE are making AI classes mandatory from kindergarten. Um, but this is not using AI per se, but it's learning more about AI so that they can be guided on how to detect AI tools. Of course, UNESCO have started so far, has been a leader as well in providing guidance for AI, not just for teaching and learning, most specifically as well with generative AI in education, in research. A few months ago, they also released their literacy framework and guideline for teachers and for students, a general recommendation document for different nation states to follow. Now, what's happening right now? You've noticed that there are more documents that are more specific and more focused not just for exploring but for guiding teachers and school leaders and school communities to adapt AI in their own schools and their subjects. So what's happening right now is that these shifts matter because they signal that AI is now treated not as an add-on anymore, but as an essential component of 21st century learning ecosystem. Okay? And then what's happening? How about in the Philippines? In the Philippines, we are witnessing what we call as parallel movement. So what do we mean by parallel movements? We're also looking at moving beyond experimentation, and now we're moving to structured implementation. So we're now going beyond from yung experiment lang, explore lang tayo. Ang tanong na natin, paano ba talaga? How can we systematically integrate AI, not just in teaching and learning, but in education in general? So that's why you have seen the Department of Education, which has begun defining principles and programs and research for technology supported learning. Uh, Private schools and Catholic schools like MAPSA networks are drafting, or not just draft, actually tapos na sa MAPSA, which Rex Education has helped develop and publish. There are AI policy guidelines and frameworks. Higher education institutions are also coming up or have come up with their own AI declarations or use of AI in teaching and learning and research. Like in UP, for example, they already have those ethical declarations. Locally, for example, Gab AI and Tagros Education, edtech companies startup that I co-founded, we have already partnered as well with the Philippine Normal University and DepEd National Capital Region to implement pilot studies and pilot implementation of Gabay. It's the AI that I have developed for Filipino teachers. So we're looking at systematic and research-based implementations. Why do we need research? Because we want to see how AI would impact teaching and learning. Of course, teachers' productivity, but at the same time, help teachers facilitate deep learning for students. Okay, so speaking of webinars like this and teacher trainings, ang dami nating teacher trainings ngayon, di ba? Yung teacher trainings are everywhere about AI. That means that we're very serious. Ayan, the fact that Rex Education is dedicating already a series for AI training, not just for teachers, but even for school leaders and every member of the school community. This simply means that we are very, very, how do you call that? That we are very ready and we want everyone to be conscious as well, to be ready and confident, not conscious, confident in integrating AI in teaching and learning, which means we have to hone our competencies. So you have seen Rex webinars, local edtech solutions emerging, including platforms co-designed by Filipino educators. Yan sinasabi ko, and I'm proud of that. The gabay that we have work with in our edtech company. These are not small steps. They mark transition toward purposeful, mission-aligned innovation. Okay. And speaking of document, I cannot stop but share this. There's a beautiful document. So if you are a Catholic education teacher or school leader, even if you're not, but you're interested to see how AI is being seen from the lens of religion and spirituality, Pope Francis's Antiqua et Nova on the relationship between AI or artificial intelligence and human intelligence. This is a very good document that describes to us how we should understand AI, what is AI, and how can we see AI from the perspective not just of religion and spirituality, but on values of truth, integrity, and human dignity. Okay, so in this document in Antiqua et Nova, Pope Francis's Vatican Doctrinal Note on AI, we are reminded that AI is not an artificial form of human intelligence. Hindi po artificial form ng human intelligence ang AI. Okay? Hindi po siya ganon. Ang AI ay product. Ang AI ay product ng human intelligence. I don't know if that makes sense to you, that AI is a product of human intelligence, but that is something that we need to understand, that we have created AI. And because we are the creators of AI, that means that we are capable of developing it further, managing it, and even stopping its development. That's very, very important to understand. Okay? So, further on, we need to understand that artificial intelligence, because we're talking about the shift, is not just a technological or technical innovation. It is a civilizational shift. It's a shift from civilization. It challenges us on how we understand knowledge, intelligence, and even what it means to be human. So, in the document here, Antiquant Nova, you can see Pope Francis even comparing, no, how do we compare human intelligence and artificial intelligence. So let me pause here and offer a simple comparison. Okay, one that gets to the heart of what we are really talking about in terms of contrasting understanding human intelligence and artificial intelligence. So let's start with the first differences. Human intelligence is relational. It is formed through lived experience. Sa karanasan natin kahapon, no, yun sinasabi, danas, ni Miss Ivy, danas, karanasan experience. Through conversation, through shared joys and sorrows. So it grows with our empathy. For example, a child learns not just by absorbing information, but by being seen, recognized, guided, and loved. AI is in contrast, pattern-based. What do you mean by this? It is trained po. Trained po ang AI sa data sets. Tinetrain sila using massive data sets and statistical correlation. So it can mimic understanding, but it does not know the way we know, and not through present, but through prediction. Okay? We can also go to the next level. Human intelligence is embodied. It develops through the senses, through the warmth of touch. Ayan, embodied tayo. We learn through our bodies, 'di ba? Our senses. 'Di ba? Parang ganito. Pag halimbawa, hindi natin alam to na yung baso ko, mug ko, mainit. But if you touch it, nainitan ka or napasok ka, yung intelligence mo mabubuo and will tell you na, uy, mainit yan, masasaktan ka. Di ba? Parang yung mga bata, pag first time nila makahanap ng mga or makahawak ng mga mainit na bagay. So I don't know if you agree with me, but yeah, we learn through our bodies, our senses, di ba? Yung the tone of the teacher's voice, we adjust. Di ba? Pag galit si teacher, yung tono niya, focus on what we're doing, di ba? Or maybe nagre-reflect tayo, di ba? Yung sunrise, the smell of the flower in the garden, they inspire us to become better, halimbawa, writers and poets. So that kind of embodiment, that kind of embodied way of understanding human intelligence. So our intelligence is formed in time, in pain, and even in laughter, di ba? We develop our own
Okay.
ano ba? What's intelligence ba? A way of understanding ourselves through our pain, laughter, joy, and everything. However, in with artificial intelligence, wala siyang ganon. It has no body, it has no pain, no presence. So paano siya natututo? Codes, algorithm. There's no experience. Ang source pa rin niya is yung experience na kino-convert natin sa data pero hindi niya talagang experience. So, hindi niya alam na ito pala yung feeling ng matakot. Hindi niya alam na ito pala yung feeling ng magkaroon ng inspiration. Diba? So, it operates through code. Magaling ang coding, magaling ang algorithm, pero minsan, or most of the time, detached from lived realities. Wala siya sa ng karanasan ng tao. So, ano pa yung different kinds of understanding? Human intelligence is shaped by conscience and culture. It is informed by ethics, family, and faith. We make decisions through our human intelligence, not because something is logical alone, but because it's loving. Diba? Sometimes narinig mo, it's okay, it's better to be kind than to be correct. 'Di ba? Have you heard of that saying? Let me know, no, if you have heard that saying. It's better to be kind than to be correct. You can be logical, you can be correct, but if you don't kindness, it doesn't hit well. Okay? However, for AI, it is is shaped by code and prompts. It does what we feel it to do according to parameters we often don't fully understand. It can repeat what the world already values, but it cannot critique or elevate those values. Okay, I'll stop for now. Let me see if everyone is still engaged. Let me know. Do you agree that human intelligence and artificial intelligence are very different from one another? Ayan. Yes, true daw. Okay. And finally, human intelligence is rooted in community. We are relational being. We learn from other people. We learn from one another. Okay. So our own understanding, our wisdom and knowledge, we form them because we are relational. We learn from one another. Okay. We grow in the presence of teachers, mentors, and even friends. AI is an isolated engine. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Walang relation ng AI. It can mimic, it can copy intelligence, but it lacks relational context or moral judgment. Okay? So therefore, because of this, AI is even called salami. Yung iba, in discussions on the risk and opacity, how transparent is AI, especially yung ChatGPT, Gemini, or large language models, some experts use the nickname Salami. Hindi siya AI daw. Dapat nga, hindi daw kompleto yung intelligence ng AI. So dapat, ang gagamitin daw ay salami. Sige nga, can you type if you like salami? Do you like salami? I like salami. But in AI discussion, salami means systematic approaches to learning algorithms and machine inference. So para sa kanila, ang AI, hindi talaga siya intelligent. Kung hindi, nagmimimik lang siya ng intelligence through algorithm and through machine learning. Therefore, dapat ang pangalan niya Salami. Okay. But like Salami, what looks neat and yummy and smart on the surface may conceal questionable ingredients inside. Because in AI, we have what we call as the black box phenomenon. We don't know what's inside. The outer part might be good, but we don't know what's inside. Okay? So what does the black box in AI mean? AI as stochastic. We mean that it doesn't always give the same output, even if the input is the same. Its responses are generated based on probability distributions over words or tokens. It chooses the next word or phrase not by logic or understanding, but calculating what's most likely based on its training data. So ang sabi natin, ang AI, pag tinanong, hindi siya yung alam niya yung tama. Ang sinasabi niya when we say the sky is blank or what is the color of the sky when the sun is out, probably all the data that was used to train it says 80% or 90% of the time, the data says when the color of the sky is blue when the sun is out. So therefore, when you ask that, it says blue. It's not because tumingin siya sa labas, the sun is out, it's color blue, but because the data that is fed to it says that the color of the sky when the sun is out is most likely blue. Okay? So that's how we understand the black box in AI phenomenon. So in the document of Pope Francis, he warns us of the technocratic paradigm, the belief that every problem has a technological solution, that progress can be measured by efficiency alone. Pero, learning from Sir Ken Robinson, we know that great teaching is not a delivery system. Hindi lang po pagde-deliver ng learning ang pagtuturo, kundi isa itong art, it's a moral action, and it's a relationship. We learn when we teach our students, we form relationship. Hindi lang siya yung tipong halika dito mga bata, ayan tuturuan ko kayo pagkatapos tapos na yung lesson, uwi na kayo. Hindi. Kasi ang pagtuturo ay hindi lang delivery ng learning of instruction or knowledge and skills. It is forming relationship, guiding the students not just to learn head knowledge, but to apply them, become better citizens, and look and reflect at their values. And of course, for Catholic schools out there, it's also to lead them to their faith. Dahil hindi lang delivery ang classroom ang pagtuturo, it's an art form, it's a moral act, it's a relationship. Therefore then, what makes teachers irreplaceable is not what AI can do. It's what teachers can do on their own that AI cannot do. Building trust, teaching values, noticing what's not said, leading by example, showing compassion, forming character, and building their faith. This looks like small things, but they are not small things. They are everything. Notice this, 'di ba? Ang pagtuturo, hindi lang pagtuturo sa classroom paggamit ng PowerPoint, paggawa ng quiz. Kung hindi, it's about building trust, teaching values, 'di ba? Ang pag-notice ng mga hindi makayang sabihin ng mga bata. Okay, showing compassion, forming characters. These aren't small things, these are everything. However, even if we say that that teachers are irreplaceable, we need to understand that AI has already a place in education. So but the better question is, how do we stay irreplaceable as school leaders and educators even as AI tools become more powerful? We also need to ask ourselves, what must remain human in education no matter how advanced the technology? What should we protect, amplify, and pass on, not just in skills, but even in spirit? So what we're going to do for the next part is to examine key opportunities and challenges of AI adoption. Ayan. Para i-discuss to, gawin nating masaya. Ano kaya ang mga AI myth? So to understand the challenges and opportunities, let's look at myths about AI. So ano ba yung mga AI myth? What do we mean by the AI myth phrase? A belief about AI that sounds convincing but it's not actually true. Okay? So these are AI myths. So ang daming mga myth or mga minsan paniniwala natin sa AI pero hindi naman pala totoo. So let's start. The myth that AI thinks like humans. This is myth number one. This is also the issue number one. Okay? So our misunderstanding is that because AI talks fluently, we assume that it understands concept. But a while ago sa black box phenomenon, in reality, AI predicts words patterns based on probabilities and not comprehension. Black box phenomenon, training of data says AI is trained to look at word patterns based on relational statistics, probabilities, but not really on understanding or comprehension. So what is the analogy for this? Parang yung AI, parang karaoke machine. It can sing beautifully but it doesn't know what the lyrics mean. So magaling siyang kumanta, ang galing-galing niyang kumanta pero hindi naman niya naiintindihan yung kinakanta niya. That's myth number 1. AI thinks like humans. What is myth number 2? AI is always confident, so it's accurate. So ano yung myth dito? Yung we understand that confident output is equal to reliable truth. But in reality, of AI often hallucinates sources and data. So ano ba yung hallucination? Okay. This is an example of hallucination. When the AI generated content is not reflective of what's happening in reality. If you look at this example now, they asked ChatGPT, version 3 of ChatGPT, when was the Golden Gate Bridge transported for the second time across Egypt? So dahil sobrang confident yung pagtatanong, inassume ni ChatGPT that, yeah, nag-transport tayo ng second time ng Golden Gate Bridge. Saan? Sa Egypt. Kailan? Noong 2016. So nag-imbento siya ng isang pangyayari na hindi naman nangyari in reality. Kung hindi mo alam ang sagot dito, kung hindi mo alam ang Golden Gate Bridge, maniniwala ka. That's AI hallucination. Okay? It is when an AI system gives a response that is not coherent with what we know as humans to be true and what we see in reality. That's AI hallucination. So ano yung mga example? Yung mga nag-EMA dito ng mga teachers, mag-ingat-ingat kayo. Yung mga made-up journal citations, di ba? AI-generated content in a student's review or related literature. So ingat-ingat tayo kasi yan yung mga yan yung mga, how do you call that? These are made up, these are fake, hallucinated sources. Okay? Be careful as well. Myth number 2, AI is always confident, so it's accurate. Fluency is not equal to accuracy. AI tools are designed to speak well, but not always to speak truthfully. Parang mga bata or parang tayo, ang galing-galing niya magsalita, ang galing ng paggamit niya ng words, pero maririnig natin hindi pala tama, hindi pala accurate yung information, yung data na sinasabi niya. Okay, para mga vloggers minsan or mga fake news peddlers. Ang ganda ng sinasabi pero hindi naman pala totoo yung mga sinasabi nila. So fluency is not always equal accuracy. A Stanford study in 2023 found out that 70% of students believed AI outputs were correct based on tone alone. Tone alone. So kung confident ang tone, sobrang galing ng tone, maniniwala actually ang mga students. In the survey, 70%. Okay? And in another study, confirmed that people rate hallucinated outputs as high quality if the language is fluent. O yun. Fluency is not equal to accuracy. Okay. Ano yung myth number 3? Myth number 3 is AI will replace teachers, researchers, and others' profession. So what do we mean by this? Okay, there's a misunderstanding that when AI automates our works, it's equal replacement. If AI can draft lectures, summarize studies, or generate questions, then it will eventually take over human roles. Mapapalitan na yung mga teachers, mapapalitan na yung mga researchers. This is our misunderstanding about AI. Just because a task can be automated does not mean we will replace AI with the professional. In reality, when we look deeper, AI can automate repetitive or mechanical tasks, manual tasks, but it cannot replicate higher tasks expected of professionals like teachers. AI cannot replicate mentorship. AI cannot replicate ethical discernment or even scholarly judgment or even human empathy. So, tama, pwede tayong mag-automate ng task natin but hindi natin ina-expect na papalitan tayo ng AI. Alright? So, the analogy, parang ito noon, yung calculator, um, before, natatakot yung mga math teacher sa calculator. However, AI is like calculator. It speeds up computation, but the calculator cannot replace the mathematician because the mathematician's work and profession is more than just the calculator. It has more tasks that it can do. However, there is a big reality behind this. There's a study about, occupational implications of generative AI. It's the effect or implications of the use of generative AI or consequences or effects to jobs. So, in this study by Microsoft in 2025, they found out that the role of AI when professions use AI, it's primarily supportive and gathering information, explaining and drafting, rather than autonomous completion of complex professional responsibilities. So gets natin, yung paggamit ng AI supportive, it's not to complete complex professional responsibilities. So clear yon. It will not replace complex works of professions. However, there's a heads up right now. The heads up is that college grads are struggling to land entry-level jobs. Bakit? Sabi kasi natin, no, parang hindi sila nag-hire ng mga newly grad kasi may AI na. Napalitan na sila ng AI. Wrong po. Hindi dahil sa may AI kaya hindi na sila nag-hire ng mga new graduates. Hindi sila nag-hire ng mga new graduates. Instead, ang hina-hire nila yung mga nag-a-apply na marunong na sa AI and can do higher level work or responsibilities. Yung kayang gawin ng AI, ibibigay nila sa AI pero mag-hire pa rin sila ng mga taong marunong gumamit ng AI at the same time marunong mag-contribute at a higher level, bringing critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and even problem-solving skills. Ba't ka mag-hire ng employee na na ang responsibility ay kayang gawin naman ng AI? Mag-hire ka ng isang marunong gumamit ng AI at mas kayang gumawa ng higher level responsibilities. So it's not because AI has, replaced us, but it's because these companies are looking for a more skilled employee. So there's higher demand for higher skills from employees. Okay? Myth number 4. I think this is the second to the last of our myth. Okay, myth number 4. AI is neutral. So, the misunderstanding here or issue is that because AI is a machine, its outputs must be objective, impartial, and even unbiased. So, what's the reality here? AI reflects the biases of its training data and the choices of its developers. What it produces is shaped. Remember, may mga training data, may mga data sets na ginagamit para i-train ang AI. Hindi po tabula rasa ang AI. Meron na po siyang data. Now, dahil may pumili ng data na ilalagay sa training ng AI tool, what it produces is shaped by who created it, what data it was trained on, and whose voices are most represented. So merong innate bias. Bias sa content, bias sa decision, bias sa developer as well. Sana lang hindi siya masasama or bad information or bad data or hurtful data or information. So what's the analogy here? The analogy is AI is like a mirror, but it's not a perfectly clear one. It reflects yung tao na nasa harap niya. Clear ba? So kung ano yung Kung ano yung input, siya rin yung output. Ganun lang yon. So kung biased ang input, biased din yung lalabas na output. There's one more myth, but let me just challenge everyone. Ano pa yung feeling nyo myth sa paggamit ng AI? Can you check and type in, go to your comment section, comment box on Facebook Live, and tell me what do you think are the other myth about AI that you have. So good afternoon to those who are coming in right now. I'm monitoring our live now, the comment section, and there are people coming in and saying good afternoon who have joined us. Ano pa kayo yung mga myth na meron tayo sa mga AI? Before I move to the last part, I just want to see and hear from everyone. Ano tingin niyo yung mga ibang myth? So type in your comment, your thoughts in the comment box, and then I'll come back after I repeat. After I finish the fifth one. Okay. So the fifth myth or the last one is AI privacy risks only matter for big data, not for my work. So anong ibig sabihin dito? Um, we assume that our simple research notes, yung mga thesis drafts natin or mga small-scale survey natin, hindi naman significant kahit tingnan nila yung ginagawa ko, yung data ko. Wala naman sila makukuha sa akin, wala ngang laman yung ATM ko. So okay lang. But in reality, that's wrong. Because data privacy says even small or academic data can expose sensitive personal information, violate ethical review protocols, or even compromise intellectual property. So walang maliit or malaking data. The big idea is all data should be treated with privacy with respect. So the analogy here is that, ano ba yung pwede nating iligay na analogy dito? It's like leaving a diary open on a coffee shop. 'Di ba? May diary ka tapos iwan mo. Isipin mo, wala naman silang pakialam sa akin, who would care about reading my personal notes. But your personal notes might have entries that contain names, stories or ideas that other people could misuse. So ingat-ingat lalo na tayo mga teachers, educators and school leaders, especially the data of our students. Mag-ingat po tayo kasi hindi natin sila pag-aari, and there are data privacy law in the Philippines that treats them with much care as well. So ingat-ingat, no big or small data, kailangan important that we secure and protect and the safety of our sensitive data. So ayun nga, what other myths do you hear about AI? Teacher Eric says AI will replace all teachers soon. Kasi ang dami-dami din kasing sinasabi no na ayun na mapapalitan na tayo ng AI, may AI na nagtuturo ng klase. In Germany, they experimented with that. May robot as well and all those kinds of things. So they are teaching with AI. Heads up lang sa atin, no? Very interesting. That kind of idea. What other myths do you hear about AI? Yan, AI will replace teachers soon. Sa mga kasama natin, ano pa yung mga ibang myth? So thank you, Teacher Eric, no, for being active and contributing to our discussion. Okay, let's go to the last part of our discussion. From policy, from caution to formation, and of course, another issue that we would like to look into it, sustainability. Okay, if education in the age of AI is very challenging and exciting, the next question is, from policy, what does it look like in action? Where do vision and values and our policy become, where do they become, when do they become institutional decisions? When will they influence day by day practices and even a system-wide culture? So this is where policy comes in. Policy is very important, no? Yung ginawa namin kanina na pinakita yung MAPSA, that's a very specific policy and comprehensive guidelines. Okay, it is essential because without policy, yan yung very important, no? Because if we want to adapt, okay, even our most sincere convictions remain fragile. Leadership must eventually take form in structure. 'Di ba? Ano bang sabi natin kanina? The reality is that we're now moving from experimentation to structured implementation. For structured implementation, the biggest requirement is a policy. So school leadership must be anchored in something deeper than compliance. It must be rooted as well in values and conscience. But policy today must own but policy today must also respond to more than just what happens inside our classroom. It must also address what happens because of them. Okay? Take note, another thing, artificial intelligence is not immaterial. It runs on electricity, consumes massive data, powered by servers that leave a real ecological footprint. Okay? So large models like ChatGPT and other require enormous computational resources. Often, we don't see this kasi nag-enjoy lang tayo sa paggamit ng AI. Hindi natin nagkikita yung invisible computational resources that are being used. Okay? But very visible to Earth, to Mother Earth. As Antiqua et Nova reminds us, we cannot separate technical innovation from moral ecology. So, kasama yan, no? Moving from policy to action, we need to understand that there are implications. Like for example here, artificial intelligence is not immaterial. It has ecological consequences. Now, I've been talking about policy a while ago. I want to showcase here an amazing work. It's not anymore just an emerging work. It's a published work created by collaboration about the Catholic schools in the Manila Ecclesiastical Province School. This is probably the first comprehensive AI policy guidance for a school network in the Philippines. And this is something that MAPSA and Rex Education has helped develop. So here, let me talk about here. This one, it's a bold and concrete step. So the publication, the development is a bold and concrete step toward ensuring that AI in our schools is grounded in what we believe in, our values, it's ethically governed, and educationally sound and ecologically responsible. So there is a framework inside. The framework is not a document created in reaction to headlines. So hindi po to parang, uy kasi nag-cheat na yung mga students, gawa na tayo ng guidelines. Baliktad po, okay? It is a fruit of prayerful reflection, consultation, and even deep understanding of what we believe in our faith. At its center, this is just an example, no? I'm showing you an example of an AI policy framework which can inspire you also to experiment and try and explore. Kasi kung sabi nga natin, structured implementation, kailangan natin ng policy. Okay? At its center is a bold but essential mission, gospel-rooted, ethically guided, and educationally sound integration of AI across MAPSA school. So, Teacher Jim, kailangan ba parang MAPSA school kami, may Catholic theological? If you're a Catholic school, yes, you should have this Catholic theological foundation. But if you're not a Catholic school, kailangan alam nyo yung institutional values ninyo. Saan kayo papunta, ano yung vision mission nyo, doon kayo mag-align. So let's explore this example. Here, the core pillars are three: Catholic educational foundation, ethical oversight, information mechanism, and then whole school approach. This is an example. Ayan, parang nagre-raise ako ng hand. This is an example of a framework that we can use. So in Catholic educational foundations, ethical foundations, ayan, yung tipong naka-align tayo sa values of the school, the vision mission of the school, and even our school identity. Okay? The other pillar is called ethical oversight and formation mechanism. What does it mean? It provides the necessary structure for formation or training, formation for students, learning for students, training for teachers and school leaders, discernment, the ability to choose when we will use AI or not, and even accountability. And then, of course, whole school operational structure, which means that when we use AI, hindi lang siya parang teaching and learning. The use of AI is actually that we use AI for governance, for administration, and of course, even outside the academic learning, student services like guidance and all those kinds of things. Kasi ngayon, in reality, di ba ang sabi natin, in reality, when we started, when I did a pulse check, ano ang sabi natin? That AI is everywhere. That AI is out there. That AI is out there. And that everyone is using it. So sa school, yung policy ng school, hindi lang dapat policy for academics kasi nag-cheat na yung mga students natin kasi gagawa tayo ng AI. Hindi pwedeng yun lang. Kailangan yung policy nyo also includes not just teaching and learning, paano yung registrars ninyo na gumagamit ng AI? Paano yung guidance counselor na gumagamit ng AI? 'Di ba? Ang dami nating pwedeng gamiting AI tool. It's around us. So that means we have a whole school approach into looking at it. Okay. So, Teacher Jim, halimbawa, na-inspire kami na parang MAPSA, meron na kaming policy and guidelines. What's next? For you to be able, of course, mahaba yan, no? For you to be able to apply these policy guidelines, you need to make sure that you train your students and teachers. So we now move from literacy, we now move to, from policy, we now have to move to literacy. So what does it mean? It's another literacy. Teacher Jim, parang hirap na hirap na nga nato tayo sa literacy. Ano nga, kulelat na nga tayo sa mga literacy and everything. 'Di ba? Numeracy, literacy, lahat na kulelat tayo, scientific literacy. So kailangan po bang meron na namang another literacy? Yes, because AI literacy matters more than ever right now. But here's the thing, I will show you later on that AI literacy builds on basic foundational literacy. Ang batang hindi nakakabasa, batang hindi marunong sa basic literacy, kawawa siya sa AI literacy. Because look at the definition. AI literacy is the ability to understand, use, evaluate, and create with AI technologies responsibly and ethically. What does that mean? Kung ang bata hindi marunong magbasa, hindi niya kayang evaluate yung AI output. Hindi niya malalaman kung tama ba o hindi. Or minsan, hindi tayo marunong sa AI, kaya naniniwala tayo sa mga AI-generated content. AI-generated content, whether video, text, photo, ang dali nating maniwala. I remember nung 'di ba sunod-sunod yung Tino, Typhoon and Uwan na typhoon. Grabe, if you go online, you will see a lot of um AI generated content. Tas lahat ng mga tao share, share, share for the content, share, share, share. Um ano ba? For the content kasi tapos yung mga tao naman sobrang gullible. They share it, they read it, and they naniniwala naman sila. So, interestingly, kulang sila ng AI literacy. Mababa sila sa AI literacy. So, this means then that we need to teach our students and ourselves to critically assess AI outputs, making informed decisions when interacting with AI and other societal and ethical impacts of AI. I'll stop for now. Quick lang. Okay. This is AI. This AI literacy is a working definition from European Commission, OECD, and even UNESCO. Quick lang. Can you share? Can you go to your comment section? Um, do you know someone who has been fooled by AI? Yung naniwala sa AI. Meron na ba kayong kilala or kayo ba? Nauto na kayo, sorry for the word, nauto na kayo o nalinlang na kayo ng mga AI-generated content? Let's try to be honest. There's no right or wrong answer, but let me know. Let me know in the comment section. Nalinlang na ba kayo? Naniwala na ba kayo? Na fake news na ba kayo ng mga AI tools? Tingnan nga natin. Let's see, no? Let's see. Share in the content if you have that kind of experience already. There's no right or wrong answer, but yeah, that's how we want to look at it. Okay? So while waiting for your thoughts, I'm gonna proceed. Teacher Jim, marami na daw po sabi ni Teacher Sinon. Yes po, si Carlo. Carlo, okay, yes po, sabi niya. So marami na tayo na din lang. Kasi nga, sabi nila, ang ganda-ganda. parang AI na AI 'to, eh. So, ang ganda naman ng AI, ang galing ng AI. So, yun lang, ang dami nating nalinlang. So, kulang tayo o maybe wala pa tayong AI literacy. Pero ang tanong, Teacher Jim, paano kami makakabuo ng AI literacy? Okay? I'm gonna show you different frameworks. This is the last part already. So if you have questions, ayan, most of the time, si Ma'am Diana, si Ma'am Christina, kapitbahay daw niya, nalinlang ng AI. Okay? Si Teacher Esmael, fooled by vloggers using AI. Talamak talaga no, yung mga vloggers for the content kasi sila. So they invent and create misleading information or media using AI. Okay, Teacher Eric says some of the people I know believe that AI generated videos about politicians, lalo na right now, di ba? Supposedly giving away money. Confusing po ang video ng mga ibang tao dyan. So, kanya-kanya talaga tayong experiences of being confused, being siguro na sabihin natin na victim tayo ng mga nadali tayo ng mga AI generated content that are misleading. So yun. I'm almost done. I'm gonna explain AI literacy. So I want you to be ready with with your questions. So if you have questions or clarifications, get ready para mamaya no, meron na tayong pag-uusapan. So share in the comments. But let me proceed with the different AI framework literacy. These are international. Wala pa sa Philippines. There's none yet in the Philippines in terms of creation of AI literacy. So I'm going to share to you are international literacies, none yet for the Philippines. So caution lang, these are very Western, these are international literacy frameworks. The first one is UNESCO AI Competency Framework for Students. So I think the UNESCO was one of the first. I think this was 2024. In their framework, they said that there are four aspects or areas where students should be good at. It's on human-centered mindset, ethics of AI techniques and applications, and even AI system design. At sabi ng UNESCO, yung mga students, they can progress through different levels. They can acquire, ayan, meron tayong acquisition of basic AI skills, and then we apply them. So after learning about AI, we apply them, and then we extend what we've learned, and we try to create whatever things that we can create with AI. Okay, so from UNESCO, you have different aspects. Baliktad pala. You have different aspects. Ayan. You have different aspects. Baliktad pala. Mirror. You have different aspects here, and then you have three levels on how you could, how a student could learn them. That's from UNESCO. Another international global framework for students is on OOCD, Empowering Learners for the Age of AI, a framework for primary and secondary education here. So here there are four areas: okay, creating with AI, engaging with AI, designing with AI, and managing with AI. In these four areas, you will see these four areas, no? Engaging with AI, creating with AI, managing AI, designing AI, you would see three areas for knowledge, skills, and attitude. So parang naka-KSA na sila. KSA na yung framework na ito. Okay? So very interesting. In UNESCO, you have a broad stroke as well in terms of competencies. Here, you have an international version that says this is how we can do it, maybe in primary and secondary level, complete with knowledge, skills, and attitudes. It's not a full curriculum because it gives us a guideline on how to discuss it, frame it, but it's not that very specific as well. You would see this from DEC, AI Literacy Framework, very similar. It's a combination of both, no? Very similar with UNESCO. There's levels or depth of knowledge, but at the same time, you could see that the different areas as well. So there are a lot of frameworks. These are global frameworks. But what is common to these frameworks? There are three. When I look into this framework, there are three common common competencies or common things that we need that they want us to just or for there are 6 common AI competencies that they want students and even us by extension to be good at. Number one, critical evaluation and analytical thinking. We have effective and ethical use of AI tools, understanding AI concepts and foundations, ethical awareness and reflection, creativity and problem solving, human-centered judgment and oversight. In simple words, what do these areas mean? For students, it could be number one, we need to let our students teach them to think before they trust. We need to let our students use AI smartly and safely. Students, for the students to learn AI, they need to learn the basics of AI. They need to be fair and responsible when using AI. Students can be creative with AI. And then in the end, stay in charge. Students can stay in charge with AI. So literacies are very important. This is something that we need to understand in terms of the use of literacy for our students. Again, what is important is we already have policies. I've showed you example of the MAPSA AI policy as well, but policies sets guidelines. How do you now operationalize it? How do you make your students and teachers understand more? You now go to from policy to literacy. I've already given you examples of how you could integrate literacy, but there's none yet in the Philippines. When I was looking into the curriculum in DepEd Madatag, wala pang AI literacy. I was doing a research and I saw in strength and senior high school, there are mentions of AI, but more of being evaluative from the side of the students. They need to be evaluative with whatever AI content that they have been reading. But that kind of step-by-step, developmentally appropriate way of using AI, wala pa. Okay, but if you read MAPSA guidelines, they already have a recommendation of how and what can be learned with AI from K to higher ed. So there's already a broad stroke guidance as well. So you can check about this. There are questions, Teacher Jim, where can we get a copy of this MAPSA integration? This was published by Rex Education, so you can DM Rex Education so you can get a printed copy of this artificial intelligence policy guidelines. Okay, so those are the things that I want to to discuss with everyone. So the final call to action really, I've abbreviated it into CARE, CARE. This is my final call to action for everyone. C means consider. Always reflect and consider how AI is affecting or shaping teaching and learning. Then analyze the ethical concerns surrounding AI use in education. Reflect on how values and global AI ethics apply to our schools. And then establish clear school policies to promote responsible AI use. So again, show care when using AI in education. Consider, analyze, reflect, and establish. So this is just a short sharing and updating of where we are, where we have been, what we've been doing for the past 2 months. Of course, there are more updates, technical updates about AI. You have seen more and more AI tools out there, but that's just a snapshot of how we're advancing towards AI, what issues we continue to encounter, and what has been done to respond proactively, not just reactively, to these issues that we have. So that ends my short sharing about updates, trends, and transforming learning and leadership in the Philippines because of AI. All right. So yeah, I think we're ready. If you have questions, can you please make sure that you send them? Our Rex team are fishing, quote unquote. They're fishing for your questions. So please let me know if you have questions, and then we can answer them. Okay. All right. So we already have 2 questions here. Okay. Let me answer those two questions. Number one, let me just read and then answer. Sir Jim, aside from the usual fear that AI might replace teachers, what other myths or misconceptions about AI do you commonly encounter among educators and students? And how can we address these so we can promote more responsible and enlightened use of AI in our schools? One myth that I encounter is that even for professionals, even for teachers, is that when they use AI, parang using AI could help them be better. Tama naman yun. But the problem that I see is that they use AI for shortcut. 'Di ba? Parang kung nagmamadali tayo, mag-AI tayo. So mag-short, it's called shortcut use of AI. It's a myth that you can learn from shortcut. That AI can teach you if you're just after shortcut. Mabubudol ka dyan. Yung sabi nila. Mabubudol ka dyan. Wala kang matututunan pag shortcut. In education, the process is as important as the product. The process is as important as the product. So the myth there is in shortcut, AI can help you because it helps in productivity. Medyo may myth doon. For students, you can be productive with AI, but if you don't undergo the process, then you will not have a deep learning. Kulang yung deep learning. So that's one myth that I have in mind. Okay? So I hope that answers your question, Ma'am Vanji. Ma'am Vanji has another question. As we work to integrate AI responsibly in basic education, what essential competencies should teachers develop so they can use AI meaningfully in lesson planning, assessment, and student support while still ensuring authentic learning and academic integrity? Okay, very interesting. Number one, literacy. It's not really parang an AI literacy eh. Number one, if teachers want to use AI effectively, they should be masters of their craft. For example, you are a science teacher. You want to use AI. You need to make sure that you know your content, that the specific ideas, facts, things that you need to teach. Because if you don't know your content, if you're not a master of your content, you will not be able to fully evaluate and be critical of what AI output, of the AI output that has been generated for you. Whether PowerPoint ba yan, whether quiz, whether lesson plan, you need to make sure that you are a master of what you're teaching. Parang mga bata. Kaya nga ayaw natin yung mga bata na mag-AI, lalo na yung mga nasa elementary or primary. Kasi kung hindi nila master ang grammar, for example, paano nila malalaman na tama yung grammar na binibigay ni AI? Or kung hindi sila marunong sa math, nag-word problem sila using AI, paano nila ma-explain na tama, ma-evaluate na tama yung sagot ng AI kung hindi naman sila master ng content? So you need to understand that very, very specifically. The first competency is, I think, be critical, but at the same time, you can only be critical if you know or if you have mastered what you're supposed to teach. So, yeah, diba? Ensuring authentic learning and academic integrity. Very important lang yan. Apologies, no, my nose, I'm having my allergy right now, so apologies for that. Okay, Teacher Maricel, what policies do you suggest on the extent of use of AI in education, works, projects, and academic requirements? Very interesting. Yan, that was a very, very long conversation that we've done in the MAPSA technical working group. Use of AI. We were very specific when we said no AI use. AI use in elementary. Students cannot use ChatGPT, Gemini in creating any output they cannot use, especially in the primary grade kasi there's still mastery of learning. But in 5 and 6, they can use AI to learn about AI, but not to create with AI. That is reserved for junior high school. In junior high school, you train them how to use it properly so that when they go to senior high school and college, they can be responsible, independent users. So that kind of policy, that kind of breaking down what is acceptable or not. Hindi kayo pwedeng ethical declaration, bahala na kayo. If you're working in basic education, pangit yun. Yung mga college yun, yung kaya na nilang mag-interpret. Pag may sinabi kong ethical declaration, ito yung importante. But that cannot be applied in K to 12, especially in elementary yun, and junior high school. You need to be very, very specific as the things that you are asking or that you are allowing in terms of use of AI. Okay, you have to make a decision for that. Another policy that you need to look into is that you tell your students that the process is as important as the output. So you have to make sure that you evaluate and check how the process are being done, the process that are accompanying or the process leading to the final output. Very important, yeah. Okay, so I hope that's a snapshot of the answer that I want to share to teacher Maricel. Teacher Mark Mojica, sir, what are your thoughts on using AI detectors just to pinpoint? Number one, I'm not against AI detectors, but two things. Number one, they should not be the prime determinant whether a student cheated or not. Because second, AI detectors are AI tools using AIs. So if you doubt AI tools, you should be doubting as well AI detectors. Hindi pwedeng AI detector magaling siya. AI din naman yun eh. You're doubting other AI tools. So you should also critically doubt AI detectors. What I don't want that's happening right now is that teachers are basing their assessment just because of a machine, an AI detector machine. Minsan nga hindi binabasa ng mga teachers eh. Tapos, I know in higher education, that's their first line of defense against plagiarism and cheating. But I am very critical as well with that. Why would you trust a machine and not your student? I think the more proactive way is number one, you may use AI detectors, but when you detect AI use, you might need to converse with your students. Huwag niyong ibalik agad. Kasi yung pagbabalik is already for me an accusation of cheating with AI. And she says na kayo dyan, nagbabatuhan na kayo. And be ready because I already know international cases where students sued their universities and their professors for accusation of AI use. And the burden of proof is always on the accuser. And right now, AI detectors cannot pinpoint specifically if it's AI use. It will say probably, probability. So if it's not 100% certainty, malamang pwede tayong matalo sa korte. Remember, the burden of the accused, the burden of proving or giving facts or evidence is on the accuser. Okay? So, am I against AI detectors? No. You can use that as an additional data, but that cannot be your primary data of telling whether or deciding whether a student used AI to cheat or to plagiarize or whatever. It's an additional data, but it cannot be your primary determinant. Okay. So I hope that was clear for everyone. I've maintained that. I'd rather have you talk to your students, do investigations, rather than, you know, depending on just one AI detector. Matatalo kayo sa korte pag umabot yun. Kasi hindi sila sure. Probability lang sila, hindi certainty. Okay? Um, Teacher Shalom asks, what advices can you give to the subject teachers so that students will not be exhausted in doing their projects using AI application? Ha? Gusto na ba natin gumawa ng AI ang mga bata, gumawa ng projects gamit ang AI? Siguro yes to help, but the final output, sana hindi mga bata, ay hindi mga AI ang gumagawa. Kailangan yung tingnan, hindi dapat lang yung project yung tinitingnan nyo, the process as well. The process is as important as the product. Kasi kung kayo, yung final output lang tinitingnan nyo, wala. Paano yung process? 'Di ba in the process, that's where they learn the soft skills. Pag group work, yung collaboration, the project will not reflect, the final output will not reflect collaboration. It will reflect the output, okay? But it will not show you how the collaborative process was done. So you look at the process, right? You look at the process. That's where you also give feedback. So the process is as important as the product. Okay? So yun, Teacher Vanji, as schools begin crafting policies for the responsible use of AI, what key elements should be included to balance innovation with safeguards? Ayan. Well, number one, data privacy. Always consider whatever you do, whether AI or not, data privacy dapat ang meron kayo. Okay? Meron kayong dapat Data Privacy Act. Whether you're doing research, whether you're using AI or whatever, data privacy should be embedded. It's non-negotiable. Okay, non-negotiable. Ethical use, you have to define your values. You have to define your vision and mission. You have to define your values. And then all policy guidelines should be aligned. Your do's and don'ts with AI should be aligned with your values. Yung ethical use na yan should be defined by your core values and then ethical values like integrity, honesties, and those things. Okay? Protecting of well-being both teachers and learners. Yeah. Those are your school values matter. They are your core. So if you value integrity and honesty, then you have to outrightly say this is acceptable and not. Okay? Kailangan yung turuan. Okay? If you for example value the dignity of every student, then you won't allow your teachers to grade your students with AI or maybe reduce your students as data or maybe not respect their data and reduce them as well into just numbers or data points, no? So start with your values. Come up with your why. What is your why right now? What are your values? And from there, spell it out. Kailangan yung umupo. Hindi kayang gawin ng isang tao ang isang school-wide AI policy guidelines. It should be a work of a group representative of many stakeholders and many members of the community. Right. Thank you, Teacher Vanji, for that question. Chair Ernest, given the rapid growth of AI tools in Philippine schools, what practical strategies can school leaders and teachers implement to ensure that AI enhances learning without widening existing educational gaps among students? Okay, number one, the moment you use technology and AI tools, you need to be clear. There will be educational gaps because technology will always question access. So if you're excited to use technology and AI tools, make sure that access is being given to every teacher and every student. Sir, what if wala na kaming access, hindi namin kayang ibigay lahat, pero gusto namin mag-technology? Mahirap mag-require kung walang access. So the burden of giving access is the one who's promoting technology and AI. Bakit? Hindi nyo naman kasi pwedeng sabihin, oy teachers, yung ibang teachers hindi marunong mag-AI. Wala silang technology enabled na pwedeng wanting AI, bawal muna. Hindi pwedeng ganun. 'Di ba? Ipagbabawal mo yung individual use of AI, advantage nga yan sa ibang teachers eh. Yung ibang teachers may love life na during the weekend kasi ang dali-dali ng trabaho nila with AI. So paano 'yun? 'Di ba? Tulungan nyo magkaroon ng access. Okay? It's hard, but you cannot require everyone to use AI if there's not much access for AI tools. However, always remember, just because you don't require it does not mean you can stop people from using it. So internally, actually yung nangyayari ngayon, here's the reality, whether you require it or not. Those who know AI will have much more time, will have much more productivity, and if they're very good with using AI, it will be an advantage for them. 2 years ago, when I started training people with AI, alam niyo ba na may mga tao na marunong na mag-AI, hindi lang nila sinishare sa mga co-teachers nila kasi alam nilang secret weapon yon. Kung secret weapon mo, bakit mo i-share? Yung typical competition among teachers and na gustong maunang ma-promote or gustong mas mataas yung rating, ayaw sa iba, competitive, high competition. Ang hirap nun, di ba? So, yung iba nga hindi nila sinishare yung mga AI na alam nila kasi gusto nila silang mauna. So, in reality, yes, the moment na it's already out there, may gap na. So, ano dapat gawin natin? Tulungan natin na yung hindi pa marunong, maging marunong. Kung hindi, yung mga marunong, sila lang talaga yung may advantage. Di ba? Meron na naman talagang gap. So that's the irony of it with AI. Okay, if we don't want to deal with it, those who have access will be given more access. Parang ganun lang yun. Okay? So hopefully, pag-isipan natin na maayos yun kasi in the end, yan yung main concern natin. Just because we don't require it in school doesn't mean that we can stop people from using it. It will provide advantage for them. And if we don't look at them, we don't look at the reality, then wala. Yung mga hindi marunong mag-AI, they will be at the disadvantage. Yung mga marunong mag-AI, mas may advantage sila. That's how things will gonna happen. Okay? Teacher Imelda, can AI activities be recommended in teaching early childhood? As a support. Siguro as a support for special needs or for those who are struggling. But I would want you to remove AI from the hands of students if they don't need it. Let them master. Hayaan nyo silang matutong 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Kasi kung in-AI lang nila yung 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, maniniwala na sila agad-agad. Wala man lang evaluation. So, before evaluative thinking and critical thinking, foundational literacy muna. I'm very straightforward with that. You know, focus on foundational basic skills before even the higher evaluative skills. AI can we use AI? Ganito lang, can teachers use AI to teach? Pwede si teacher. Gamit ka ng tools na AI na pwedeng gumawa ng PowerPoint slide na interactive. That's teacher using AI. Okay lang. But giving AI, ChatGPT in the hands of grade 4 para gumawa siya ng essay, bawal yun. Kaya niyo muna siya marunong matutong magsurat ng essay para alam niyo yung what is good and bad before you let them learn a more advanced with AI. So hinay-hinay, hindi kailangan excited tayo lahat. Kasi critical thinking are important, evaluative thinking, but they need foundational literacy for our students. Okay? Thank you, Teacher Imelda. And I think we have one more, no? I think this is the last that we're getting. How can schools incorporate AI literacy into the basic education in a way that is age appropriate? Kailangan pag-isipan nyo yan. Medyo wala pang framework right now, but we need a framework. We need a framework for literacy, AI literacy, and I hope we can come up with that, but that is something that we need to work on. So integration does not mean in computer alone. AI literacy involves digital citizenship. AI literacy involves media and information literacy skills. So it's an interdisciplinary skill. Hindi lang siya dapat computer skill. It's a multi-interdisciplinary hot fudge working together of many competencies and skills. We don't have that yet. They have global frameworks like UNESCO and OECD, but local ones we don't have yet. So hopefully that's something that we can come up with in the future. Ayan, thank you so much everyone. And this has been an interesting, what do you call that? Conversation. I did a lecture for you for episode 2, but thank you so much. There have been a lot of questions. Look forward to episode 3 because in the episode 3, our speaker will demo AI tools that you can use. So you might know them, that some tools might be new, but look forward on AI tools that will be demoed on episode 3 on Tuesday next week. So there, I think there are no more questions. A lot of thank you messages. Thank you so much as well. We're very thankful that you're here and we hope to see you in your next session. Okay, so I think we're all good. There are no more questions. So I would take this opportunity as well to thank Rex Education again for bringing us here for creating this webinar series inspired by the MAPSA AI policy guidelines and frameworks that Rex has published in cooperation with MAPSA. Thank you for everyone who are here, and of course the evaluation and the certificate. Some of you are asking already. So the QR code will be flashed at the screen while the link is also commented on the FB Live. So I think the team has already put up the QR code for episode 2. The evaluation will be the basis in securing the e-certificate. The form will be open for 3 days until Sunday, 12 noon. So please scan the QR code or maybe check the link. So Miss Bea Ramos of Rex Education has already posted the link. So please make sure that you take a look at the link and answer it. Yan. Maraming salamat po sa lahat. Thank you so much for being with us here for the episode 2. A lot of discussions, a lot of interaction. We're very much grateful. And I hope you see you on episode 3 and 4 next week. That's Tuesday and Thursday. And if you've learned well, you've learned a lot from this webinar series, the first 2 episodes. Please share as well to your colleagues, to your principals, maybe in school leaders, to your network, that Rex Education has a webinar series. We've done first 2 episodes and we have 5 remaining episodes as well, or episodes in the series. And yeah, we have a lot to talk more about AI, and we hope that you will be with us until the end. So share and learn with us. Again, this is Francis Jim Toscano, and again, have a great night, and thank you for being with us here, and God bless us all. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.